Hey YouTube, Zach Guy here. Today I'm going to bring you the fixed blade by Victorinox. Actually, it's not made by Victorinox, it's made by Muela, but sold by Victorinox. It's got their logo and everything on it. It's the Outdoor Master Mic C. Now this is the larger of the two fixed blades that they've come out with, and at first I wasn't going to get one, but after going and looking at it a couple times, I finally decided to bite the bullet, pay the big bucks, and go ahead and get it. Figured later on down the road I might regret it. Now, went to Smoky Mountain Knife Works a few months ago. Stopped there, was looking at some other stuff. Went and looked at this. The one that they showed me, that I looked at, held in my hand, and the grip just seemed too small. The handle just was too small on it. And I said no. And then I went back about a month ago. I was going by there. I went to visit my mom, and I was coming back, and I stopped at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, looked at a couple things, so let me go look at that again, take another look at it. Well, the lady gave me a knife. She took it out of the box. I pulled it out and was holding it, and I was going, handle's not as small as I remember the last time. And then I asked her to pull another one out, and I got it, and I noticed the handle was a little bit different. And then the third one, which is always the charm, I'm going, that feels good, that feels right, that's comfortable. And I wanted to get one mainly for I just wanted to get it. And went ahead, got it, and I'm kind of pleased with it. I've used it for a couple of small things, nothing major yet. I'm going on a camp out here in a couple weeks, which I'll be doing some video while I'm on the camp out using the knife, and I'll be able to give my impressions then of how useful it is. But let's start off with the specs. The full length of this, of the Master Mic here, is 220 millimeters, which is 8.66 inches. The blade is 100 millimeters. Move the sheath over a little bit. The blade is 100 millimeters, which is 3.9 inches. The handle is 120 millimeters, which is 4.72 inches. The blade thickness, and this is fairly beefy, is 4 millimeters. Comes out to 0.16 inches. And the weight is 220 grams, which comes out to 7.8 ounces. As you can see, it's full tang. Got a little bit of the tang sticking out the end there. Guess you could use it to hammer something. Got a lanyard hole there, or tube I should say. 2 stainless steel pins. Has red fiber spacers on it. As I said, full tang. And see right there, it is Victorinox. Got a little bit of jimping on the back, drop point blade, kind of a Scandi edge there. Not kind of, it is a Scandi edge. The box it came in didn't survive the trip from Tennessee to Oklahoma, or I would show it to you. I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, the sheath is Kydex. Has a nylon belt loop on it. Knife fits in there. One kind of cool thing right here is this is adjustable, so you can adjust the tension on how hard it is to pull it out. You can bring it all the way up to here and it'll lock it in. It's pretty hard for me to pull it out at that point. At the very bottom it's real loose. Where I have it adjusted, I'm not worried about it falling out, so we're good there. Has multiple eyelets in here for tie downs or to move the belt loop on it. And as you can see, you could have this on your belt and then have your jacket going in between the knife and your belt. And it has a fire starter on it with a red nylon paracord on it. I'll be playing with this out when I go out on the camp out. And that's about it. Can't think. Oh yes, the steel in the knife is the same as the Swiss Army Victorinox knives, just a whole lot thicker. Now, when I get out in the woods and I'm playing around with it, I will do a little bit of bataning. This, other than my BK2 that I have, I think this is probably about the only knife I would feel safe bataning with. Mainly because it's so daggum thick. That's a hefty blade. It's got a good heft to it. And it's got the blue micarta scales, which are kind of cool. That was one of the things I did like about it. I like blue. But feels good in the hand. Like I said, I've cut up some cardboard with it and a little bit of cordage, but nothing serious. I'm gonna use it when I go out on the camp out, test it out, put it through the rigors. Kind of liking it, like the feel. Like I said, the first time I went and saw one, handle just felt too small on my hand. My hands haven't gotten any smaller or any bigger since then. So, and like I said, I held 2 or 3 different knives and found one that felt it was just the right balance, thickness, whatever you want to call it. And I was going, okay, there, I'm getting this one. I think the lady was happy because she was probably getting irritated pulling the knives out of the drawer. But anyway, this is the first part, my first impressions. Next, you'll see me out in the woods cutting things up, processing some food probably, and I'll be giving you my opinion when I get done. But so far, it's good. Okay, out camping now. So you can see, got it on my belt, and because of that gap down there, jacket fits down over it, and you still have good access to the knife, able to pull it out. And then if I can have a little bit of problem finding the sheath there, but you know, it hangs down. If you're wearing a jacket, sweatshirt, whatever, it fits over. Rides pretty nice. It's right flat next to the body, so we're good there. Gonna get some wood and play around a little bit. So let's go check things out. Okay, with the 90-degree spine here, use this to be able to process some wood there. Get this up by the campfire and check it out. Wrong one. Whoa. Well, I haven't done this in a while, you can see. Well, if I had some tinder that would light, I have to go get me some tinder that'll light up. And one thing you see what's happening to the blade here, the back of the spine. Using the fire steel. So as you can see, puts off some pretty good sparks. And now this is some oak, pretty dry oak. So didn't realize it when I cut down that sapling. It was basically dead. So let's see here. Okay. Make me a little bit of a stick here to cook some hot dogs on later when the other guys get here. We're going to cook up a few hot dogs for dinner. I'll go ahead and get my stick ready. And again, we might just boil them up in the pot. But anyway, I'm here in a state park, so we can't have a fire really anywhere. We got kind of abide by the rules there. Right now it's February. And it's about 45 degrees outside. Really not bad for February. I think yesterday it was down around 20 degrees, so today it's much better. But this is working pretty good at, you know, doing a little bit of necessary whittling. You want to cook some meat on a stick. Now I got a stick to cook my meat on. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's not chipped, but it looks like the steel's already rolled right there from, I guess, hitting a little knot. See if you can. Hasn't chipped. I'm gonna have to kind of work on it a little bit more. It's still sharp, but I'm a little concerned about that. Yeah, there's a little tiny chip in the steel there, right tip of my fingernail there. Yeah, that's a little disconcerting. Okay. Trying to make a fire stick, or not fire stick, trying to make a feather stick. Not working too well here. I think this is a little bit too green. Let's see if to get some yeah. I keep doing that. Although I've got a pile of little twigs down here that are feathered out. I guess it's a little bit too thin, but the blade thickness, I think, not used to using a blade this thick for this minute a task. So try this down here. Okay, let's try. Okay, that's working better. I think I was going too far. Oh yeah. I think I was trying to do it down here and I should have been using closer to the end. I'm so used to using pocket knives that using a fixed blade. So that's not too bad. That'll help get a fire going. So feather sticking, not bad. Yeah. my sausage stick going here. Oh, man. There we go. Well, it's cutting pretty good.
There are fir oaks all over here.
Okay. Hope I was in there. Check the edge there. Looks pretty good.
Shit, that's a fucking hole.
You okay?
It hurts, but I'm okay.
Gonna start a fire with the mini infernos here. Or try to.
Park that right next to a burr oak thingy.
Ooh, that stuff lights up quick.
Ow. Where's that little stuff at?
Well, that went a lot quicker than I thought it would. And then just push the red button by the view screen. Okay, just want to wrap up here real quick. Spent the weekend camping out at I was at a cabin. I really wasn't camping out, but I was up at the cabin, running around in the woods carrying this knife. One thing I noticed is I'm not used to carrying a sheath knife, fixed blade, so the weight was bothering me a little bit, just because I wasn't used to it. I'm really used to, running around with one of my larger Swiss Army knives or other knife in my pocket, so the weight was a little bit of a problem for me, so I'll just have to get used to that. This is a little bit heavy, but it's a handy knife. One thing that bothered me and showed it, the blade, when I was cutting up some stick to, I was just out there screwing off, to tell you the truth. The stick nicked the blade. I took my DMT diamond home, or one of my diamond stones that I had a 400, I think it was a 4 and a 600 grit, or 4 and 800 grit stone. Ran the knife over it a couple times, got the nick out of the blade pretty much, and then stropped it, and it was, like new out of the box. Scratched up the blade a little bit, but this is a working knife. That doesn't bother me. I am a little bit concerned about it doing that on a small sapling. It was an oak, and I was just taking some of the small limbs off of it, and it nicked the blade. I rolled it in one little spot. Didn't have any other problems with it the rest of the weekend. Little concern, I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera or not, but on the back of the spine where I was playing around with the ferro rod, it's marked up. I'm wondering if maybe there's a problem with the heat treat on this particular one or on the whole line. I don't know. That just kind of concerns me. As you could see in the previous videos when I was using the ferro rod, if I had the proper tender set up and something was truly flammable and not damp or wet or anything, this ferro rod worked fine. Pretty good little ferro rod. I like it. I like the knife. It's a bit heavy, as I said, but for woods running, it's not bad. I might go away from the Kydex sheath and go to a make a leather sheath or get a leather sheath for it. I do like the 90-degree spine on it. This back part, the pommel, I did bang on a couple things. I don't think I got any video of that, but I did tap on a few things as I was out there doing things. I needed to straighten out a little piece of metal or nail or whatever, and I did tap on it. No wear or tear on it with what little I did do with that. The full tang I really like. Knife does have a good weight to it. A buddy of mine who likes heavier blades just fell in love with this. He has about the same size hands as I do, and he just went gaga over it. But all in all, other than that one little problem with the blade nicking when I was cutting through some, delimbing that little limb, I had no problems with it. Like I said, ferro rod worked pretty well, and had fun. Well, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I hope you enjoyed this little, well, not little, but enjoyed this review of the new Swiss Army Victorinox fixed blade. Outdoor Major Mick or whatever it is. I forgot the name of it now. But anyway, as I said, leave your comments below. And remember, always be prepared.